Hello, thank you for joining me today here on our Oikos Live episode 50. You might notice that we've got a different backdrop again, but we also have Zach because he's always with us, and of course we have our South African flag because we are live streaming today from South Africa. So anybody who happens to be there with me now, thank you for joining me and welcome to this episode of Oikos Live. I have some announcements to make, and after that we'll see if you have any questions for me, which I will be watching over here to see if some questions are coming from you, and then we'll take it from there. But in the meantime, I hope you've got your cup of hot tea, I've got hot tea. You might prefer something else, hot chocolate or coffee or maybe a cool drink. But I always like to share tea with you on these Oikos Live episodes. So here's some nice hot tea. And today we are actually in Howick. So let me start with this announcement. And that is, we have had the wonderful blessing of being able to do these Oikos Live episodes from Oikos Base, which is out in the country, which is an area called the Karkloof in Natal Midlands in South Africa. But unfortunately, our internet connection there has just been, if I told some people who are used to having very fast internet, you'll cry when I tell you that our internet speeds have been 1 and 2 and so on for upload. And anybody who understands anything about live streaming, and this has all been a learning curve to me, but you need a minimum of about, for the absolute bottom speed, and to be able to just at least have some result. And so we can't have that anymore where we are out there in the country, just because of all kinds of logistical reasons. And so what we did today is we came into town, our little town, which is about a half an hour's drive from our home. Our closest town is called Howick, and our daughter and her husband live in Howick, and so do our son-in-law's parents, which is our daughter's in-laws. So here we are at our daughter's in-laws' home. So I'm very grateful to them that we could come here and do this live streaming from one of the rooms in their home, because they've got really good internet. In fact, we are using our mobile internet, but that's all the technical side. That's not what this live streaming is about. But I'm giving you all this little bit of technical background to say to you that we can't do scheduled live streaming so easily anymore. So what we're going to do going forward after this episode 50 is we're going to live stream when we can, if we can, where we can. Because for an example, we could do it here today in our daughter's in-laws home because they're here and they're not away, and so we can utilize this wonderful facility. And we also had some lovely lunch because Laura, our daughter Missy's mother-in-law, Laura, she made lunch for us. Oh, it was delicious. It was all lots of nice, yummy, healthy things. On the topic of healthy things, I've actually just recently been doing a focus on health on the podcast, the Oikos Family Podcast. So if you want to have a look and go there, have a listen, and go there to listen to the podcast, you are very welcome to do that. And the way to do that is to, hang on, what's happening there? Oh, come in, Laura. The door's squeaking and Laura's trying to sneak through a squeaky door. Okay, so never mind, that was just Laura in the background coming through to tell us something, and now she's gone again. All right, so what I was telling you about health was that I'm talking to you, whoever wants to listen, about this topic of health and the importance of it. And I have done a few episodes of that on the Oikos Family Podcast. If you'd like to go and listen to those, the podcasts are about 10 or 15 minutes long, and it's just audio. For those of you who are familiar or unfamiliar, then what I would like to encourage you with, because this is one of the things I wanted to talk to you about today, is to encourage you to go to the Oikos Family website, and there on the banner, on the homepage, one of the banners says podcast, you can just click on that and it takes you straight to where the Oikos Family Podcasts episodes are being uploaded once a week. So now that is something we can just keep going on a scheduled basis. It's 3 o'clock on a Saturday, they go up. And we can do that because it doesn't rely on a specific internet need and speed and all the rest, because we can do it and upload it all in the time and the speed that we can manage with where we live, there at Oikos Base. But when it comes to this video live streaming, you need different, the technical requirements are different but difficult for us. And so, to wrap it up, Oikos Live is going to happen, these live streams are going to happen when we announce them. So we will put on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and wherever our Oikos has various social network outreaches. Whichever one you're following, we will tell you about it. We will say to you, we're going to try and do a live streaming session tomorrow at 3 o'clock, whenever it might be. And that could be a Monday, and it could be a Thursday, and it could be whenever. It's going to be whenever we find we can grab the moment, as in we might find that we're in an area where the internet is really great and our mobile device is working and everything's good and we can get the location right and we can just quickly grab a moment and do some live streaming. We might even do that where it's just like an hour's notice, live streaming in an hour, or we might know ahead of time that we're going to be going to town for a couple of days. Like, for example, sometimes I come into town and we look after our daughter's dogs while they go away. And then we know we're there for a few days and then maybe we can do a live streaming. So there is our whole story about live streaming. So it's a little bit of a sadness in the fact that we're not just going to keep every single week at 3 o'clock on a Wednesday. We're going to be able to just keep them coming because, as you've heard, the technical difficulties have become too complex for us to be able to keep that in place. But we're not going to stop it altogether. We're going to continue with these live streamings when and how we can. And what we're going to keep going in the meantime is the podcast. So there you have it, podcasts and live streaming story. Those are the announcements. And there is Annalie. Good morning, Annalie. Annalie's in Canada. Yes, Zach is very chipper this morning. Yes, he is. He's been on a long journey, has he? He had to come all the way from our home on the back seat of the car. So as we've told you before, Zach is our traveling zebra. So there he is. And he is looking very happy today to be present here on our Oikos Live. We couldn't leave him at home. And thank you for joining me, Annalie. I really, you know how much I appreciate you being there. It's so nice to be able to know that I'm talking to somebody and not just this camera lens. Although we know that's not the case, because anybody who's watching this after the fact, thank you for joining me as well, because you know we put this live streaming on the Oikos homepage until the next one goes there. There's another point. If we don't get to live stream for a week or 2 or 3, well then whatever the last live streaming we did will just stay on the homepage until such a time as it needs to be changed for something, because it might be that we change that particular production to something that needs to be there that's current, you know, something that's happening currently. And those were the next announcements I wanted to make today. And then I'm going to see if there's some questions coming in. Okay, so the one announcement was that the May is Mother's Day month. Now, you know what I learned a couple of days ago? That it's not Mother's Day everywhere in the world on the second Sunday of May. That was interesting to me. I was of the understanding that Mother's Day was everywhere, and I discovered it wasn't. So anyway, for anybody who would like to receive the blessing of us honoring and celebrating mothers this month, what we've done is we've put a Mother's Day coupon. When I say we, I'm talking about those in the back end that do all this technical stuff. Thank you very much for them, because they help us to deliver and give to you what we have to give. And one is this discount. So we have this discount, and it's 10% off absolutely everything in the Oikos on the Oikos Online Store. Everything has got a 10% discount, including items that are already discounted by 20% because they're on sale or clearance or bargain box, whatever. So in some instances, it's quite a nice discount for the month of May for Mother's Day. Now, the reason why I'm making a point of it here on this live streaming is that it seems that some people thought that the sale would finish when Mother's Day arrived, because we started it on the 1st of May. But we just want to let you know that we're running the sale all the way through the month of May. So even for people that are not in South Africa and you are somewhere else in the world and you would like to benefit from this, then you can by getting one of the digital products, such as one of the ebooks or something that you'll be able to maybe purchase and download and get it at a really nice value, nice price. So about digital, I mentioned in the last live streaming that we've started doing audiobooks to make some of the Oikos publications, those that we found are very, very precious and very valuable. We're putting those into publication as an audiobook. And the first audiobook is available for people. We haven't quite yet gone on the Oikos website where you can go to that particular book and you can select it as a physical book or as an ebook or as an audiobook. The audiobook step we're still putting in place, but that audiobook, as we do audiobooks, they're going to be available across lots of audiobook platforms. So let me just use an obvious one, audiobooks.com. If you went to audiobooks.com and you put in the title of an audiobook that I might tell you about either through Facebook or on the podcast or through live streaming, and you put in the title, being the most recent one, Letters from Granny Oikos. Granny Oikos is my mother, and she has shared some of her pearls of wisdom, and I really believe they are treasures and valuable, and they're helpful to moms that are home educating and to the moms that are home educating to give to their mothers. Lots of focus on mothers, you see, so that's why I did Letters from Granny Oikos, because that is the first audiobook, because May is the month that we're celebrating mothers. So it all makes sense, well, to us. I hope it makes sense to you as well. But here we have Letters from Granny Oikos is available to you on audiobooks.com. So you can just go there and you can purchase it. In fact, Jamie, can I tell them about the codes, that coupon code or something? We haven't got that in place. Oh, well, I've mentioned it now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you that going forward, we're going to be trying to find ways to offer these audiobooks to you as a gift. That's the plan. So we're working on that, something to look forward to. We're not quite got it all worked out yet, but we do plan on being able to, 1, make the audiobooks for you, and 2, offer them to you as a gift where we can, and 3, they're going to be available for purchase all over the place. But I just want to say that when you do purchase something from Oikos, whether it be, you get in the blessing and the benefit of having the sale through the month of May, every single purchase that comes through to Oikos is a gift to Oikos, because of the fact that we use those funds to be able to then continue in the work of this calling of supporting and helping parents and on their home educating journey. Because what I believe is if we can help you, the parent, we're actually helping your children too. That's what I believe. Because I actually just said to Karen, who helps with the customer service, that's the way, that's the word to call it. I call it parent help, otherwise we call it customer service, depends which way. Anyway, he was helping a parent yesterday with a customer service matter, and he was being so patient and so kind, and I just said to, and she was so grateful, and I just said to him, when you help that mom, you're actually helping her children too, because that's how we see it, that if we can help you, if we can do something to help you in your day, we believe that that's also helping your children. So, oh, look at that. There's some more ladies here joining me. Hello, everybody. There's Serinda. Oh, she's from Mozambique. I remember you from Mozambique. Well, I don't know that we've ever met. But hello from out there in Mozambique. I wonder what the weather's doing there. We're having glorious weather here. It's autumn. And everything is just spectacular. And the weather is idyllic. I think it's got to be my favorite season. Okay. Right. I've done the announcement of the sale. I'm just going to check what other announcements I have to do here quickly. Let me have a look. I told you about the audiobooks. Oh, this is another exciting announcement. Myself, one of the other Oikos moms, our daughter, and a very dear friend, Tia Soferno, who's a musician, artist, vocal artist person, and musician and everything. We wrote some songs that were very specific to home educating families. And we compiled a music CD called Safely Home. And I think there's 16, was it 16? It's 14 or 16 songs on this disc. And you know what we're doing? We're putting them in every parcel. When I say we're putting them in now, again, I'm jumping ahead of myself here because we're starting to put them in. Then it's not happening just yet, probably as from next week. We're going to be putting in this music disc into every parcel. Every order that goes out from Oikos is going to get this music gift called Safely Home. That is a gift from us because we want to celebrate the mothers for this month. That's our focus. So we're thinking of ways that we can do that. And that was one of the ways, is to give you this music disc called Safely Home. And Tia just has got the most beautiful voice, and she is doing all the vocals on the CD. So I'm sure you're going to enjoy that if you get one, if you happen to get one. If you are like some of these moms outside of South Africa and you're not ordering a physical item that's coming to you, then I'm going to suggest you just go to wherever you go to for your music, as in iTunes or wherever, and you can download some of Tia's music, because a lot of her music is focused on family, the parent, the child. So you might want to just go and listen to some of the samples of her music, and you can get some of her music if you'd like to. So we have thought of you as well. Okay, that is to tell you about the Safely Home. The other thing we're doing in the parcels again is we're putting some little seeds, because we've got a lot of yellowwood seeds. And I'm going to do a little video about these yellowwood seeds and tell you more about them, and then that'll just be on the website somewhere, and I'll let you know on Facebook, wherever. But it's just to say that's a gift that we wanted to give, some project type of gift whereby you receive the seeds and then you can plant them, and it's very slow going to wait for a yellowwood seed to sprout and turn into a sapling, and then you can put a little pot and so on and so forth. But that was all for something for the parent to receive that they can then do with their children. A little project, a little I was going to say craft. I don't think you can call that a craft project. A little project for you to do that will be a hands-on thing. And again, those of you in Mozambique aren't going to get those seeds necessarily, because we won't be sending those to any international or people. And there is M. M is also out there outside of South Africa. Hello, M. Thank you for joining us today. Appreciate you being there. Did you notice that I got some very bright lipstick on? I suppose I shouldn't bring attention to it, but you know why I am, is because this bright lipstick, what happened is I put some lipstick on that was long life or last forever. It's like stained my lips. Anyway, I hope it makes you smile. That would be worth it. I'm just seeing if there were any other. Okay, I have just finished with my announcements. Isn't that nice? So now I can go on to answering any questions. Here's a question from Annalie. What are some of the ways of making summer break fun, special and relaxing? We don't travel very much, and I don't like the overstimulated constant planned activities. Oh, that's nice. I'm glad you don't like the constant planned activities. That is actually you got the thinking right in the first place. I think too many plans, activities. I think it's something that home educators are getting tripped up in. Actually, to be honest, where I'm coming from, I'm thinking, why so many planned activities? It's just like overload. It's just putting people under so much stress. And to me, one of the treasures and blessings of home education is not having all that stress. And yet people seem to do things to cause stress. Anyway, so you are asking, Annalie, what are some of the ways of making summer break fun. Summer break. We don't travel. Okay. Wow. You see, my mind races with ideas, but they're very much South African based, I would think. So now I'm just trying to think what I could suggest, what the kinds of things you say. You don't travel much. You know what, for us, and also you say summer break, but okay, I'm going to just tell you it as it is. We didn't really break up our home education into school and not school and term and not term and that. Because for us, it was a learning lifestyle. It's always been a learning lifestyle. So there wasn't times where, okay, we're taking a break from learning now, and now we must fill this time with holiday stuff. Because for us, it was an ongoing kind of lifestyle, which actually looked a bit like this, whereby learning happened naturally, if I can say. But then there's the intentional part, as in, okay, we better get on with some maths. Let's do our maths lesson. It takes a half an hour. But then we might not have got to maths for a couple of weeks because we were on the road and we were doing a tour and we didn't take our maths books. And that was also okay. Because the bigger overriding picture was that by the time the children are adults, they need to be educated, they need to be numerate and literate. But more importantly than that, they need to have relationship with the Lord. They need to know that they're unconditionally loved. They need to know where to go. Oh, where's my Bible? Oh dear, my Bible's not on my desk here. They need to know where to go in the Word to be able to get their guidance, because that's their life manual. So that is what the picture looked like. So we didn't necessarily have a reference in our mind or needed to think, oh, we're going to have 3 weeks holiday now. What are we going to do? How do we fill this time with holiday things? Because it was a continuous learning lifestyle. So in that continuous learning lifestyle, we always had something happening that was interesting and motivating and exciting, like projects to get back to. So, for example, now I don't know, Annelie, if this is going to help you with regard to, if I make some suggestions on some projects, then you basically, in your summer holidays, you could perhaps get started with some projects that then just become ongoing. So, because we lived Konos and the Konos lifestyle, we always had something going on. So we would be building a raft, or we'd be building bridges, or I would have, because I knew we were building bridges when we were doing determination, I would have found some bridge building ideas. But we didn't even have Google then, but now you've got Google, you can go do some searching and get some ideas. And what I'm suggesting is you start projects that are ongoing, they're long. It's not just for this afternoon, or just for today. Okay, so what about some practical ideas? What about deciding this week you're going to eat like South Africans? You're going to have South African menu, okay? And you're going to do everything South African. Your children are going to draw the flag, color it in. Maybe they can get really creative. Maybe one of your daughters likes to put beads in, whatever, okay? And so you could do flags as a project, as a fun craft activity, whatever. You, Annelie, could read to your children, be reading aloud, decide what book you're going to read to the children this week, and now you're going to read that story to them, that novel, okay, chapter at a time, and while you're busy with the chapter that you're reading, they're all doing a South African flag. Why not? Or find out about zebras, or do some fabric painting, whereby you can have them all painting cushion covers with zebra style. Zebra themed cushion covers. I'm just using the zebras in the flag idea because they're sitting right here. Or you can see our smiley face is always with us as well. So you could do something smiley face related. Actually, I'm remembering now, Jamie made a huge poster. He's still got it in his bedroom. He's still got it in your bedroom. That massive poster with a huge big yellow smiley face on it. And he had a quote at the bottom. Do you remember what the quote says? Doesn't remember. Okay. So that is what how I would respond to that question, is to say, find projects that are like a theme that go on and on and on. So, for example, you're doing South African food for the week. For the rest of the week, you're going to eat South African style. And if you want to know what that is and what is typical South African meal, then that's a little research. Then you can go to Google and you can put South African food or South African meals, traditional South African food. You might not understand it because they might use language like pap, and wors is something which is boerewors, which is like a spicy sausage, which is very popular in South Africa, where people have wors rolls, they call them. So they could be lunch, see, with spicy sausage rolls. Okay, so what I'm just suggesting is so that you're not having to think of planned activities, and as you say, it just becomes too much and there's too much going on. Instead, you and the children know that for the rest of the next couple of weeks or the next month or whatever, summer holidays over there, you have these themes going whereby the whole week you're focusing on flags and the next whole week you're focusing on wildlife. And you're not taking out your formal learning books. Instead, you're just doing this natural learning lifestyle where you're taking a theme and you're doing all kinds of activities around that theme. Now, generally what I found when we were living, that was our lifestyle. The children didn't ask for when are we going somewhere, or what can we do, or they bored or anything like that, because there was something happening. We were busy with activities. It was art activities or kitchen or whichever in the garden. And you see, if you start with a theme, Annalie, and you follow that through, for an example, wildlife, then you might decide to go on an outing. I think you mentioned you're going on an outing to the zoo, I think you might have said. But in that instance, what you can do is you can actually take that theme and you can do a couple of outings, because you can just be spontaneous like that. It doesn't have to be planned necessarily. Well, maybe it does in your personal circumstances. But spontaneity is also fun, where you're just surprising the children with unexpected. We're going to have a picnic now. For today's lunch, it's going to be picnic. We're going into the garden to have a picnic. To me, those are the sort of memories and the kind of activities and fun things that just can happen and be treasured and beautiful in a family. They don't have to be planned and they don't have to be all worked out. They can just be spontaneous. Okay, so let me just check that I'm not leaving anybody out here. Oh, I like the flag idea. The kids love to draw, so they can draw while I read. Exactly. You see, what you could do is you could give them each a piece of paper, and you don't have to stop here. You can actually get them to look at all the different flags. They can decide which flag they like the look of, and they're going to draw it. They will remember that flag in that country. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to suggest you take it further, and whatever flag they're drawing or painting or coloring in, you can pray for their country. So how about that? If all of you decide to do the South African flag, then you can pray for South Africa. We just had our elections last week, so we could do with some prayer from other people. Okay. Yes, that's a good idea, Annalie. Text me if you need help with recipes. I'd be quite happy to send them. I'm just not sure if you'll be able to do some of the things I'm thinking of. We've got something here that we call mealie meal, and I think you call it cornmeal there. So what corn is to you is mealies to us, right? And ours is staple food throughout South Africa is this mealie meal. And because it's actually just processed from all the maize fields, right? And it's prepared in many different ways. We've even got something called pop tart, which is actually mealie meal made quite stiff. It's like porridge. It looks like white porridge. And then sweet corn, and then grated cheese, and then meal, and layered like that with cheese on the top and popped in the oven. It's called pop tart. We call it that. And we love it. So that's just one very traditional South African meal. Another one is something called babooti, which is like a spicy mince. But to tell you what, you go get one of your children to look up the babooti, B-A-B-O-O-T-R-E, babooti. See if they can find a recipe for babooti. It's like a curried, spicy kind of mince, and that's the base of it. And then make yourself some babooti. I hope you're going to enjoy your South African food. I'm sure you will. Okay, it's in Mozambique. It is 23 in our town, and it's quite cool for us. Everyone is wearing 23. I wonder what the temperature is here. I think we're about the same temperature then, because I think we must be around about that temperature today. But cool for us is what it was the other night. It was 4 degrees when we went to bed. So we've had some really chilly nights. Winter's on its way for us. And there's Annalie talking about summer. Okay. Somebody asked a question. How do we keep a schedule during summer without some form of the day? The day seems to degrade. Oh no. Okay. How do we keep a schedule during summer? It seems like there's a summer question here for what do we do in the summer holidays? I hope I think that was M that asked that question. I hope that what I was chatting about with regard to the ideas I was giving Annalie, with having some theme, some projects going on, that will actually just help. And I'm just, maybe you need to tell me what summer holidays means to you, because what I'm just trying to imagine, okay, that maybe summer holidays is you've been having the structure, because I'm just picking up here that maybe you have a structure and the structure keeps some form of order. And now it's holidays and there's no structure, and so suddenly, whoops, no order, and now there's not a schedule or anything. And you know why you might be having a difficulty with that? Because children actually like routine. In fact, I think anybody would prefer, it's not just children, anybody would prefer to know, I don't know, I don't want to presume now, because maybe some people like just to go with the flow and whatever the day is, but I think it helps when children are being directed by somebody older than them, for them to know what their day consists of. So I think maybe that's what helped in our learning lifestyle, is that our children knew that this is what this week is about. This week we're going to cook Russian food, and we're going to study Russian, we're going to find out about Russia, we're going to do everything Russian related, you see. And we'd even play games that the Russian children played. What kind of games do Russian children play? Okay, they build snowmen because it snows a lot. Oh well, now we live in South Africa, it snows occasionally, once every 5th year or so, so that's going to be difficult. But then we find out about snowflakes, and maybe our children have never seen snow, and maybe they don't understand the beauty of snow, the magnificence of it, and it's something interesting to them. So we would be doing that, and we'll find out how to make cut out snowflakes. I'm actually just now pulling from my mind everything I remember. I remember we did this actually. You get paper and you cut it intricately, and then you open it up. It's all folded into like a little square, fold into a little square, and then you cut the corners and things and shapes, and then you open it up and it's this pretty pattern. And that was something like a snowflake. It gave a resemblance of something like a snowflake. Okay, so now I'm just rambling on about snow, but what I'm just saying is that they didn't, all the way through the year, there was something, some sort of directive. To us, the Word of God and Konos was our 2 main directives. And so Konos was like this big manual that just kept on giving me ideas of things to do. And so we would know we're busy with, what's an example? I used determination earlier on. So we're busy with determination, and there's all these activities to do that is going to help us to grow in determination. So we don't stop doing that. We don't stop training character because it's summer holidays or because we're taking a break. The character training is ongoing. Just like you're saying, I think it was you, M, that said, how do we keep a schedule? Yes, it is M. So it is a case of keeping something going. It's keeping not necessarily a schedule. I think it may be a philosophy or a particular kind of lifestyle. That's what I'm thinking, that if you sit down with your family, with your children all together, the whole family over a meal, and you talk about what your learning lifestyle is and what your objectives are and what you're trying to achieve as a family, and that is you all want to grow in character, you all want to support each other, you want your home to be a peaceful, loving home, and you make those as the objectives, and now there's suddenly no peace in your home because the day turned on its head. So now you have to be intentional about bringing that peace back, because you've all agreed that peace in the home is better than strife. So now you can start doing intentional activities that help encourage peace. So what would that be? And you go, what can we do to bring peace back in our home? And then you decide that this is going to be the focus for the rest of the week. We're going to focus on having peace in our home. You're going to find scriptures on that. You're going to maybe write them out and put them on the walls and talk about it, and find activities that will support that. So I hope that just these fleeting ideas in this short time that we've got is enough, or more than enough, because God wants to give us in abundance. He has more than sufficient for us. So there is another thing. You see, you call on Him and He is there to help. So I'm sure that if your summertime is unraveling and it's not, your day is not turning out to what you know that is pleasing Him, that if you call on Him, He will be there for you. And you just call the children together and say, you know what, this isn't a pretty picture. This isn't the way God likes, is not pleasing Him, the way what He sees here. So let's change the way we go forward with our summer break, summer holidays, and let's have a plan. And let's see to it that this plan is going to delight Him, because then all of us will be delighted too. We will all have a wonderful time. So have a plan. Maybe that will help with the summer holidays, just to have a plan, have some sort of plan in place. You know, I had a lady that helped here at Oikos, and she used to say something, and that was this little expression. I used to love it. She used to say, "Stop the lorry," because when things just started going out of hand, she would just say, "Stop the lorry." In actual fact, I remember talking about this on one of the Learning Lifestyle videos. We did a whole series, Learning Lifestyle series. Actually, they're on the website. I think there's about 30 of them. They're just little clips of a few minutes long, video clips on ideas of the learning lifestyle. So I don't know if that'll help you moms to go and watch some of those. And I actually remember even talking about the one called Stop the Lorry, because in fact Jamie even put an image in of a Mack truck coming towards in the video itself. So that is how some people feel. They feel like, you know, they're about to get flattened by what did Em say? The wheels are falling, when the wheels fall off the bus. That's another one. So yeah, maybe if your day is feeling like that, talk to your children about it and say, you know what, guys, this is not the kind of day that this needs to be. We can turn this around and be a team. Pull together and decide, okay, we're going to change this day. At the moment, it feels like there's a Mack truck heading for us. And remember the little expression, stop the lorry, and have some fun and stop the disaster from flattening you, and do something constructive, something intentional. And now I'm thinking about the podcasts where I speak about being intentional. It's like there's a lot of intentionality towards making it better. So here's the thing. I'm going to be needing to leave you very shortly. Let me have a look, because my time is going to be up now. And I just want to leave you with this. And that is, do not be in any way hesitant about being intentional. Just decide, okay, we're going to be intentional about these summer holidays, and we're going to have a plan, and this is how it's going to be, and this is what we're going to do, and put it on a whiteboard or on the fridge, or you call it a refrigerator, I think. Okay, we call it a fridge. So put it on the fridge and make a plan and be intentional about that, because this is what can happen with that, is you will be blessed. Your children will be blessed, your family will be blessed, the stress will be less. So why not do it? Take that bit of effort, and then you will be rewarded, because it will be a blessing to you and to your family and to the Lord, and then you'll be blessed. See? So you need to do something to be blessed. This doesn't just fall out of the sky. Okay, so stop the lorry, be intentional, make a plan, enjoy your summer holidays while we head into winter here. And I will see you all again on another live stream sometime. No promises when, but I hope it's not too far in the future. I hope it's sooner rather than later. Ladies, thank you for joining me. May you feel celebrated for the whole month of May as wonderful mothers. We want to celebrate you and congratulate you. You are doing an incredible job. You know, my mother keeps telling me that the mothers out there that have made this choice to home educate, you need to be congratulated. Well done. You are doing, the fact that you've made that choice, I just want to say well done. I just want to congratulate you and encourage you to press on with it and have happy days. That's why we have our little smiley face. Where's he? There. Where's he? There. Always there to remind you to keep smiling. When you give joy, joy comes back to you. You please the Father. Okay. All right, ladies, I can go. As you can hear, I can go on and on, but I am aware that our time has run out. And so thank you for being there. Thank you for joining me. See you again soon, I hope. Bye for now.